And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Satellite imagery here showing system kind of spinning up as it moves slowly in across the Gulf of Alaska right through here, kind of lifting northward toward the coast here toward the afternoon hours. Clouds well into the Tanana Valley with some mid and high level clouds up to the Yukon River here. Some clearing up around the Porcupine River area, and a little more in the way of clouds now for the North Slope and what you've seen the last few days there, especially on the western Arctic coast here, the weak system just to the west there. Higher pressure here behind this system building in over the western part of the state ahead of a weakening front dragging across the Pribilof Islands and eastern Aleutians and on up into the northern Bering Sea there. Otherwise, not much yet behind. As we roll this again, you can see this front breaking up, although see the clouds here coming onto the scene with the next system will be bringing, they'll be pushing in later on. Otherwise, a lot of rain here from back edge of this cloud shield all the way eastward across the southeast interior. Rain this afternoon from Fairbanks all the way down, about a third of an inch falling at Gulkana in the Copper River Basin today, nearly an inch at Yakutat, and lighter amounts down the southeast coast, although Ketchikan was carrying moderate rain the last hour. And drying out here for Kodiak Island, some sunshine today back into the Alaska Peninsula Bristol Bay area, and a few breaks here over the Kuskokwim Valley, or I'm sorry, not the Kuskokwim Valley. Kuskokwim Delta had a few sun breaks there, south side of the Seward Peninsula, same thing, and also along the northwest coast there, as well as the northeast interior. Otherwise, solid rain here from the Kuskokwim Mountains eastward in across the Copper River Basin into Canada there, and gale force winds today with gusts anywhere from 45 to 55 miles an hour right along the coastline of the North Gulf Coast, Middleton Island area there, and northwest winds gusting to about 40 miles an hour at Kodiak or so, maybe even a little higher there in some areas, 45 miles an hour, and some gale warnings along the north coast of the Panhandle, again with about an inch of rain falling at Yakutat, and rain across the entire Panhandle right down to the Queen Charlotte Islands. Over half an inch of rain falling in Anchorage today with, again, about a quarter to a half inch over the central and southern southeast coast. And then this high pressure area here building in slowly ahead of this weakening front here, bringing a little bit of moisture in toward the Pribilof Islands and down across the Aleutians, but amounts very light with that. That'll continue to break up tonight with just some scattered showers for the Pribilofs. Really isolated showers, mostly just cloudy skies here for the eastern Aleutians into the Alaska Peninsula, and a chance of light rain, fog, and drizzle moving into St. Lawrence Island. High pressure slips in here, weak ridge right through here, keeps it dry, winds light, and some clearing there from the northwest coast all the way down to the Alaska Peninsula. Gusty northwest winds or west-northwest winds slowly diminishing toward morning for Kodiak Island. Dry conditions, mostly clear there. Diminishing showers, rain changing to showers, south central Alaska, Madawaska-Susitna Valley, Kenai Peninsula tonight, or this evening, and then showers starting to diminish after midnight, hopefully ending a lot of the areas except the mountainous terrain toward morning. Kind of hanging on up here from the central eastern Alaska range up into the upper Tanana Valley and 40 Mile country. Wet for the Panhandle. Front pushes eastward, but another trough caught up in the southwest flow, west-southwest flow around this slow-moving low in the Gulf. And tomorrow, that drifts eastward there and keeps that southwest flow pushing surges of moisture right into the southeast coast. Look for a pretty wet day for Friday here. Again, from Dixon Entrance all the way up to about Cordova, drying out over Prince William Sound, and partial clearings. Could see some sunshine midday tomorrow through the afternoon, south central Alaska. Sunny Kodiak Island with a lot lighter winds. High pressure in over the western part of the state, weakly ridging in. Keeps it dry with some sunshine there. Isolated showers and clouds for the Arctic coast. Some fog along the coastline. And showers slowly diminishing, but not completely ending for the eastern interior here. Out to the west, again, this washed out front brings a chance of some light moisture there to the Yukon Delta coast. St. Lawrence Island, isolated showers here for the Pribilofs, and mostly dry for the eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula. And then this next front pushes into the western Bering Sea, and Aleutians bringing some rain in with it, with this trough bringing some little more gusty winds and rain into Adak and Atka. This development here takes in 24 hours, it's forecast to move northeast and deepen 22 millibars from 1,003 millibars tomorrow afternoon to 981 millibars by Saturday afternoon. So that's going to put full gales right into the southwest coast, and with some coastal flood watches out for the Kuskokwim Delta coast, flood watch out for rain on the Kuskokwim River, all in the Kuskokwim Delta there, and high surf advisories out for the Yukon Delta coast and the coastal areas of the Norton Sound area, Bering Strait. Rain and wind pushing at a pretty good clip eastward here, and look for conditions and winds to increase, or chances of rain to increase, with also increasing winds here out of the south-southeast across into south-central Alaska. Hopefully the rain holds off till the evening, but could get into the inlet by afternoon. Rain definitely Kodiak Island, solid rain into the Kuskokwim Valley, right up into the Norton Sound area, Seward Peninsula, and the front bringing some rain to the Alaska Peninsula, but breezy westerly winds here for the Aleutians, but dry there as most of the shower action stays up to the north. Could see some clearing out there as well. And the southeast coast looks like a mostly dry day, at least in part. Could still see a few showers around the southern areas of that weak trough there, but definitely looking much drier Saturday than today and tomorrow in that area. And also the upper Tanana Valley with that south wind coming off the Alaska Range, mild and maybe some sun breaks there. Otherwise, dry from the north slope out to the Arctic coast. And again, with this system bringing the gusted heavy wind and rain into the southwest part of the state, we've got, as I mentioned, a coastal flood watch out for the Yukon Delta coastline, Nunivak Island, and a flood watch out for the Kuskokwim River there over the inland areas around Bethel for possible flooding with heavy rain there. And again, a watch, conditions may develop that could lead to a coastal flood watch or a flood watch on the river. Up here to the north, southern Seward Peninsula, all the way around Norton Sound there in the Yukon Delta coast. That's a high surf advisory out for late Saturday through Sunday night for high surf and possible minor beach erosion there. So from here, going on to temperatures, we've got lows tonight in upper 40s to lower 50s, about like we've seen for days on end here in the Panhandle, and mostly in the 40s over southern Alaska, and 30s Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, and then the 40s out to the west. Highs for tomorrow, upper 50s, lower 60s, south central Alaska, hopefully increasing sunshine here, and lower 60s, upper 50s, lower 60s, southern Panhandle, in the 50s up to the north, and 50s through the central interior, Brooks Range, the Arctic coast. 40s once again, losing the 50, definitely losing the 60s there from the north slope, and that already happened today, and probably losing the 50s as well. Lower 50s though along the southwest coast, and the Aleutians up around 60 again for Adak and Unalaska. And for the lows Saturday morning, more 30s showing up now here in the interior, about as many 30s as there are 40s, lower 40s, but into the mid 40s out here to the southwest. Upper 40s to lower 50s for the Alaska Peninsula, upper 40s in the Aleutians, and mostly in the 40s now for the southeast coast. Highs on Saturday afternoon, upper 50s to lower 60s, warmest down toward Klawock and Craig in those areas. Upper 50s to maybe mid 60s, warmest in the Susitna Valley here, with clouds again coming in from the southwest and west. Kind of hard to say how much of an effect that'll have on the temperatures, depends on how soon it rolls in. Upper 50s near 60 Copper River Basin, 55 to 60 up around the Fairbanks area, and looks like back into the 50s there for the north slope. Otherwise, the Arctic coast in the 40s.